I've had very good talks with Putin, and I've had not such good talks with Ukraine. They don't have any cards, but they play it tough.
In a room packed with reporters, US President Donald Trump threw a verbal grenade at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, accusing him of bluffing in a war where, according to Trump, he holds no real leverage. On the Brian Kilmeade show on Fox News Radio, Trump ramped up his criticism, portraying Zelensky as powerless and ineffective. "I've been watching this man for years now, as his cities get demolished, as his people get killed, as the soldiers get decimated," Trump said. "I've been watching for years, and I've been watching him negotiate with no cards, and I've had it." Meanwhile, Washington is actively exploring a diplomatic solution without Ukraine. Over the weekend, high-ranking US officials met Russian representatives in Saudi Arabia to discuss ending the war. Ukraine was not invited. After the talks, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said discussions covered re-establishing embassy staffing and potential economic incentives for Moscow if the war ends. Trump, however, dismissed Zelensky's significance. "He's been at meetings for 3 years and nothing got done," he said.
Maybe he wants to keep the gravy train going. I don't know what's the problem, but he hasn't been able. He's very upset that he wasn't invited. He could have come if he wanted to, but that he wasn't invited to Saudi Arabia. But he's been working for 3 years. There's never been even meetings or phone calls to stop this war. It's a horrible thing.
Speaking to governors at the White House, Trump reinforced his stance. "I've had very good talks with Putin, and I've had not such good talks with Ukraine," he said, insisting that peace talks are the only way to halt the war.
I've had very good talks with Putin, and I've had not such good talks with Ukraine. They don't have any cards, but they play it tough. But we're not going to let this continue. This war is terrible. It would have never happened if I were president, but it did happen, so I got stuck with it.
Zelensky refused to be sidelined. In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, he rejected any US-Russia deal without Ukraine's involvement. "I will never accept any decisions between the United States and Russia about Ukraine. Never," he said. The feud escalated further when Trump claimed Zelensky should have never started the war, despite Russia invading Ukraine in February 2022. Zelensky fired back, accusing Trump of living in a disinformation bubble and pushing Kremlin narratives. Trump responded swiftly, branding Zelensky a dictator and ridiculing his pre-political career, calling him a modestly successful comedian.
But think of it, a modestly successful comedian. President Zelensky talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won, that never had to start and never would have started if I was president, not even a chance, and it didn't start for 4 years.
The diplomatic fallout between Trump and Zelensky comes at a pivotal moment. With Trump eyeing a return to the White House, his stance on Ukraine could redefine Washington's role in the war.